Autoship is a EU-funded project, started more than 4 years ago, actually probably 6 if you consider the original idea. It has been funded by the European Commission by a contribution of more than 20 million, but the cost of this project are actually higher, and they demonstrate a high commitment from the industry and the research world on these topics, and the topic is obviously autonomous shipping. So what this project is realizing is bringing on the European waters two actual demonstrators on the short sea shipping and the inland waterways. These demonstrators and ships are really important because they have been the first and probably the largest one on their sides using this kind of technology on such a scale. On top of the technical effort made by a group of top-notch 10 partners from all over Europe, this project has also dedicated, I would say, 20% of its effort to complementary research, which is as well important to convince the stakeholders and to decrease residual risk about autonomy in terms of their economics, in terms of their safety, and also in terms of the needed regulatory perspective that this project is actually contributing to setting in place. We are doing it by discussing and engaging with relevant stakeholders and the regulatory bodies on a daily basis. The results of the project, we hope that will impact on the next generation of autonomous ship and on the next step that Europe needs to undertake to really make this technology a reality for the benefit of all European citizens.
We're at a really interesting point where we have seen through this project that we have developed technologies for autonomous shipping. We have integrated them into existing ships, and we have demonstrated the real operations in real operating environment, and that goes for situational awareness, technologies that enable us to look outside the ship, autonomous navigation system, and remote operating center with the connectivity and cybersecurity. It is really a step towards market introduction for these specific things that allows us to perhaps put them into operation to transport cargo in a more sustainable way in the upcoming few months or few years. In addition to the technology development, Autoship has also carried out a significant research effort into simplification of approval methods, safety security methods, and cost benefits assessment. And we see that let's say the frameworks that we have researched on the side of the technology innovation part of the project has also now materialized into a better understanding of how we are going to deal with approvals and the business cases. And what is also particularly interesting now is that we're starting to see, let's say, a leveling of the ambitions. Ambitions are still high, but we have now started to realize, I think, in the community as all, that full autonomy is not going to be realistic nor necessarily interesting for business cases. But we start to focus both on the tech development together with the interface between the humans and the technology on ships, which will be a future research direction with high interest from a lot of stakeholders.
We are looking to autonomous ships because, very simply, there's a huge crisis, a climate crisis. And we believe that autonomous ships are part of the solution to climate crisis. Ships, additional ships, first of all, are powered with fossil fuel, and they also have a certain economic model. And if you want to use non-fossil fuel, which is more expensive than fossil fuel, you need to change the economic model of the way your ship operates. And by making a ship autonomous, you influence the economic model, not just on the OPEX, because the obvious reason would be you get the crew off. Be not mistaken, you still will need people to do a lot of things, but they could be more efficient. But apart from that, you suddenly design a new type of vessel, which has totally different technical sides, can be much more simple, much easier to produce. And so it's not just the OPEX, but also the CAPEX side, which is exciting us in order to create zero-emission ships.
One of the things we see clearly in Autoship is that even with very advanced technology, we cannot remove people completely from the loop. We still have to support people, also with the technology. And that means, in particular, that we have to consider this remote operations center and how the technology interacts, the automation interacts with people. The technical developments we have done in Autoship is very much targeted to this. How can we make the technology fit the requirements of the operators? However, as the goal is also to make this more efficient and have more time available for the crew to do more productive things than looking out the window, Automation is also, of course, very important.